There is a forest deep in the northern hills of Blackstone County. Locals call it Whistler's Hollow, a name passed down from generation to generation, often spoken in hushed tones. On maps, it is labeled simply as State Forester 47, but for those who live nearby, it is not just a patch of wilderness. It is a place people enter and never come out. The disappearances go back over a century. Hikers, hunters, campers, families on road trips who take the wrong turn. Their names fill missing persons reports. Their faces once filled newspapers. But as years passed, their stories faded, and the forest kept its silence. But it did not begin with tourists. The first recorded vanishings happened in 1893. A small group of loggers went in for a week-long job. 5 men. Only one returned, bloodied, barefoot, and unable to speak. He had bite marks all over his arms. But no animal matched the pattern. When he finally spoke, his only words were, "The trees whisper lies." He died 2 days later. In his sleep, no wounds, no trauma, just gone. Since then, the stories grew. Locals tell tales of strange lights drifting between the trees, of voices calling your name even when no one else is around, of a humming sound that starts quietly and builds until you feel it vibrating in your bones. And when it stops, that is when people vanish. Most who disappear are never found, no bodies, no tracks, as if the forest itself swallows them whole. But a few do return, like Carla Mendez, a 28-year-old nature photographer who entered Whistler's Hollow with a group of 3. She was found 10 days later, wandering a highway nearly 40 miles from the entrance, covered in scratches, eyes wide with terror. When police asked what happened, she said she had only been gone for 1 night. Time had bent around her, she claimed, and she remembered the sound of something breathing behind her the entire time. Not chasing, just watching. Carla no longer speaks of it. She has moved far from the region and avoids wooded areas altogether. Then there was the 2007 case of the Holloway brothers, Tommy and Eric, teenagers. They had dared each other to spend a night in the forest. They brought flashlights, a camera, and a map. Only Tommy came back. His footage made it online, blurry, grainy, mostly static. But in one section you hear it. A low echoing sound like wind passing through broken glass. Then Eric's voice, calm at first, turns to panic. He screams. The camera spins. Something moves between the trees. Then silence. Tommy says he ran, but he insists Eric did not die. He says the forest took him, chose him. What does that mean? No one knows. But one thing is clear. This forest is not normal. In 2011, a team of paranormal researchers entered Whistler's Hollow with thermal drones, sound equipment, and tracking dogs. The dogs refused to go beyond a certain point. They whimpered, pulled back, and within an hour, the team lost 2 of their own. One was found 2 days later, hiding in a hollowed-out tree trunk, eyes rolled back, fingernails torn. He repeated the same sentence over and over. It is not the forest. It is what lives beneath it. He remains in psychiatric care to this day. There are theories. Some believe the forest sits on a spiritual fault line, a thin place between worlds. Others say it was cursed by a tribe driven out centuries ago, and the spirits now guard the land. But that the most terrifying idea is the one few dare to say aloud, that Whistler's Hollow is alive. A predator that thinks, hunts, lures, and it is patient. One common thread in many cases is the presence of strange symbols carved into trees. Sharp, circular patterns, often in groups of 3. No animals are known to create such markings, and yet they are found every year, even on fresh bark. Sometimes there are feathers tied to branches nearby, bones arranged in spirals, and always, just before someone vanishes, comes the sound. Whistling, soft, sweet, and human, like someone calling a dog, or luring a child. It has been described in dozens of police reports and survivor testimonies, and every person swears. It sounds like someone they know. One girl said she heard her grandmother's voice. Another, the whistle of her childhood friend who had passed away years ago. A man in his 50s claimed the sound mimicked his own. This is why locals avoid the forest. They have seen too much. They know better. There is a sign nailed to a tree near the forest entrance. It is old, cracked, and barely legible. It reads, "You can walk in, but it will walk out through you." Today, state officials refuse to investigate further. There are no patrols, no search missions. Official statements cite budget concerns and wilderness safety. But the real reason, Fear. In the last 5 years alone, 14 more people have gone missing inside Whistler's Hollow. No signs, no trace, just silence. But the forest does not care, it waits. And when